Recruiter here, the Headless Headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes in this recession. The resume we have up first is a data analyst. So this person has applied to over 1,000 jobs and gotten a single interview. So this is going to be a bad resume. What we're looking for in a data analyst is your degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solve the problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines. Those are what we're going to be looking for. So, can we find that? Probably not in 20 seconds, as this person has a 1 in 1,000 ratio. The ratio is how you tell how good your resume is. If you're getting a 1 in 50, you're actually pretty solid. The job market is trash right now. We're in a recession, and while your resume is hurting you, there are other factors as well. So if you're getting if your ratio is better than 50 applications per one interview, you're doing well, although you cannot count it during the winter months. November, December recruitment shuts down, and it really does not reopen again until the second week of January, which is normal year after year. So we only have 20 seconds to find this. Let's see if I can do it. And go. Okay, nothing here. Nothing here, but you do have your degree at least. Okay. Automated weekly using Python. Okay, good. I don't care that you saved 5 hours. Delivered SQL-driven ad hoc executive presentation. It's not really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for SQL, though. Build and maintain Power BI dashboards. Okay. Queried and transactions using SQL data cleaning. I don't care about that. And that's it. Time. That's all. So yeah, this would be yeeted. They had like 2 or 3 things I needed. So let's see why this is bad. So the very first thing is, well, you have a summary. You don't need a summary. There are 3 reasons you would want a summary. 1, you are relocating and you need to explain when you're moving to the area. That is, if you're open to relocation, you need that. And you have to say relocating to X by Y or can move sooner. The other is you need to explain a visa. Or 3, you are changing industries. And I do not mean changing industries like going from a data analyst to a data scientist. I mean like going from a rocket scientist to a data scientist. That kind of difference. So otherwise, you do not need it. And then we get to the skills sections, which I do not need. I cannot use anything in the skills section. If you have it in the skills section, it does not count. This is wasted space and should be deleted. Your next thing is, what about X? Yes, everybody says putting it into a skills section. They're wrong. Skill sections are bad. Do not have them. That is a hill I will fight on and live on and die on. Do not put skill sections. You do not need a skill section. If someone's telling you you need a skill section, they are incorrect. So, then we get down to the actual bullet points, which I care about. Also, this should not be bolded, but otherwise your formatting is not bad. This should not be bolded, and then this should not be bolded. So, the problem here is people think recruiters are keyword searching, right? These are keywords, let's say. The problem is I'm not looking for these. I'm looking for how you use them and the reason or result of you using them. That is a qualification. It's like a math problem. It's what plus how plus reason or result plus where, which is why under a job or under an internship or project equals qualification. That is why I cannot use anything in a skills section or a summary. So that is what I'm looking for. And yeah, if I was looking for just keywords, then cool. I would find it here, but I can't. So the problem here is you're trying to impress me. You will not impress me. I'm going to look directly in the camera. I need you to listen here. You will never impress me. It doesn't mean you're not good. You're probably phenomenal at your job. The thing is, I don't have the technical knowledge nor time to be impressed by what you do. So stop trying to impress me. My heart is shriveled and cold, and it has not grown 3 sizes. So stop trying to impress me. Just write what you did and how you did it. That'll get you jobs. That's it. So I don't want you to write automated weekly financial reports using Python, saving 5+ hours a week in accuracy and SQL. I want you to just say automated financial reports using Python, SQL, and blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah to ensure consistent accuracy for a blank, right? I don't want you to say fund allocation and visibility for portfolio managers. I want you to tell me how they used it, how you explained how to use the technical stuff. You're so focused on how you got the data that you're missing about what you did with the data, which is the actual point of your job. Your job is not to get the data. If you took a bunch of dice and you rolled them and you'd be like, yep, there it is, that's the roll, they as long as that dice was accurate, they would not care. It's not accurate, but still, you need to show me what you did with the data, not what the data is. And I just need more. Like, I don't care that you collaborated with stakeholders to translate. I want you to be like, met weekly with stakeholders to explain how to use technical graphs from X and Y in an easy to use manner so that they could blank, right? You're trying to impress me, and that's why you're failing when I need you to write me what you did and how you did it. Just be boring and basic. A good resume looks like this, okay? This is my template. It's on my website. It's free. The link is below. This is extremely boring. This is what gets you jobs. You want a boring, basic resume. So that's all I can do for this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you ever need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That is where I get these qualifications, and I help people out a little bit more. So for everybody else, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a Java developer backend. So what we need for a Java developer backend is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, SQL, RESTful API, microservices, OOP, Git, other APIs, Maven, Cloud, Architecting, SDLC, MongoDB, and probably like one of the things from extra credit, like Kafka, Full Stack, Agile, CI/CD, Hibernate, DevOps, Docker. I want to say I want to say Kubernetes as well, honestly. But I'd have to double check. So, can we find that in 20 seconds? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go. Formatting's not good. Modular backend, Spring Boot. I mean, that's okay, but this is still written. Do design a comprehensive doc data real-time transition. It's kind of okay. PostgreSQL, Spring Data, JP. Optimize query architecture using Docker is fine. Deploy option AWS. Okay. It's not bad, but it's not good. So you wrote it. What you wrote was, you have the right keywords, but you did not write them correctly. Although I will say the order is wrong. I try not to harp too much on order because that's like kind of advanced, but cloud is very big for software engineers in the back end. You should probably have that in the second or first bullet point. So the cloud with the AWS, such as EC2, RDS, and Elasticache, should be in the second bullet point at a minimum. If possible, you can wrap it into the first one. But so let me read what you wrote. I'm sending a new resume for view. I'm finishing my degree. I've been applying since September. By now, I've got almost 300 applications and 3 interviews and 2 offers that were canceled. Look, that's a 1 in 100, which is not good, but that's not terrible either. And the fact is, there's a lot of stuff in job searching that you can't control. That's why I harp so much about this. It's not because, oh, this resume will 100% get you a job. This is something that is within your control. Because, yeah, you could do perfectly fine. You could commit no errors and the job gets canceled. That happens. Happened to some of my candidates before. Happened to me. But this is something you can control and tweak. So when I'm saying this is sort of like a roulette table, right? Job searching is like a roulette table, and I tell this to hiring managers, is you will never be able to fill up everything here that it will guarantee you a job, but you can fill up the most of it. So every time you spin, you're much more likely for it to land on a job. So yeah, again, let's see. I don't know where to go. I'm trilingual. So, oh, you're trilingual? That actually should include. So, yeah, again, this is not a garbage, awful resume, right? This is the equivalent of maybe a D-, D+. It's bad, but it's not the worst ever, but we can fix it. So, again, how you wrote this is part of the problem. Although I will say, the fact that you mentioned you were trilingual is here. So I don't have... This is a failure of my part to teach this, but if you are tri or bi or quad or pentalingual, you should put that here, right? Like right after this part, just put it down here and just put, bilingual in blankety blankety blank. Especially, yeah, no, you 100% need it because I actually recruited like 1 or 2 roles in Canada. This is not my specialty, but during that time, what they wanted was somebody that spoke French and English. And it was very difficult to find that through a resume. So the fact is, if you put and I assume it's going to be French and English because it's in Montreal. If you put French and English and then the third one, even if you don't have enough here, if you have like 20% or 40%, they will move you forward just because of the languages you speak. So you should always put your extra languages. Now, to the bullets themselves, I need you to write these in a way that's not, I don't want to say bragging, but you're still trying to impress me, right? Like, developed a modular backend using Java and Spring Boot, implementing a layered architecture to ensure code maintainability. What? Bro, what? Why? I want you to instead say, created a backend using Java, Spring Boot, and SQL to X and Y. This one is actually a perfect sentence, and my only complaint about this sentence is it's not here. But this is exactly how I want you to write it. In implementing it for automated CI/CD pipelines. Yeah, like, this is good. I like a little bit more about, like, the reason you did it, but this is still really, really good. So, you're in chat, so I can help you out a little bit more. But yeah, the big issue with this is it's very close to what we need. You just wrote it in a slightly off manner, and your formatting is off. Again, this is the formatting you should use, not this. So this should be bolded. The thing under it shouldn't be bolded. And I feel like maybe the font is slightly off. Maybe. But anyway, good first try. Let's help you out more for everybody else. Next resume. This is a DevOps engineer, I think. So what we're looking for in a DevOps engineer is CI pipelines, DevOps, SQL, cloud, multitasking, multiple projects, Python, Bash, Ruby, PowerShell, Jenkins, GitLab, CI/CD, Azure DevOps, infrastructure as code, IAC, and tools such as Terraform, CloudFormation, Ansible, Kubernetes, and probably explaining complex topics to non-technical people, and a bunch of different certs that I cannot list because there's like a bajillion of them. So let's see if I can find that in 20 seconds. Let's go and start. Okay. Okay. DevOps, close, CI/CD pipeline. I don't know what safe is. I think that's agile. Customers maintain applications, DevOps, Power BI, and Power for maintainability. Okay. Built an AI chatbot. Okay. This is confusing. Yeah, this is like 8 different things in one. Because here we've got DevOps, right? And then here we've got still a little bit of DevOps, but then we have Power BI, and then we have C#, and then down here we have Azure AI Studios and chatbots, along with Git, and, well, I guess we do need Git, but then Copilots and CS, HTML, we do need SQL. No, we don't even need SQL. So let me read what you wrote. You are in chat, so I can do it after. Is been looking for a job for almost a year with only 1 or 2 interviews. This is my reworked resume after following your guide. Thank you for your help. No worries. Thank you for watching. So the big issue here is not the formatting, all right? The big issue here, a minor formatting issue, is this should be a little closer to this one. There's too much space, but that's very minor. The big issue is this is like 4 separate jobs in one. And it's too generalized, right? Like, your problem is this can do a little bit of everything, and when your resume can do a little bit of everything, it fails at getting a job. You need to be specific. A good DevOps resume will fail to get you a good backend Python role, will fail to get you a cybersecurity role. You need to be specific, and this is kind of just listing everything. So I don't really understand what these bullet points are even, because it's a software developer is fine, but then there's a ton of this. So yeah, I personally am confused by reading this, because this does not read like you did any one thing. This reads like you did 1,000 different things and you try to cram them all into your resume, which you don't want to do. You want to be specific. So that's all I can do for this. Again, like, CompTI is good for like help desks, not necessarily always DevOps. Maybe I have to double check on that, but I don't think it is as useful for DevOps. So we need you to pick. All right, I need you to pick a lane for your resume, and what you can do is you can have multiple. You can have multiple resumes. That's fine, but you need to pick. So let's go to the next resume. This is the most common mistake a software engineer can make. They said software engineer. Cool. What kind, bro? You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me if you were full stack. You didn't tell me if you were backend Python. You didn't tell me if you were front end. You did not tell me if you were backend Java or backend C#/.NET, or even an AI software engineer. All of those are different. All of those require different qualifications. So I don't even I can't even review this because I don't know which one you are. Normally I roll a d20 for this, but my d20 is downstairs. So we're going to make this up. Let's say this is front end, right? I'm going to review this as a front end engineer. Oh, but you may say, Lee, I'm not a front end engineer. Well, cool. You did not tell me. You need to pick a stack. The resume that gets you a job as a front end engineer is going to fail to get you a job as a back end engineer and vice versa. A good full stack software engineer resume will still fail to get you a front end or back end job. You need to be specific. The more specific you are with your titles, the better. And not just like your job titles, I mean what you're looking for. The exception to that is interns, where interns are just interns. You can be whatever stack you want as an intern. So what we're looking for in a front-end developer is JavaScript, React, Angular, HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful API, SEO, Git, Docker, Jira, Node.js, Vue, Next, and a bonus for blah, 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 blah. Am I going to find it? Probably not, but let's check. All right, this is a nightmare to read. I have to squint. I have terrible eyesight. This is not helping. Okay, there's nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here. What is this, bro? Yeah, this is done. I don't even need 15 seconds. There's nothing here I could use for a front-end developer or a Python back-end developer or a full stack. The only thing I saw that was relevant would be just Python, and that's it. And one thing of API. So, let me read what you wrote. You wrote... I saw your content on Instagram, no worries. I get interviews for summer internships, but have zero success with full-time positions. Yeah, because this is a nightmare, bro. This is not specified. This is what the previous resume looked like. The previous resume, while formatted better, also, and I'm not trying to pick on that person, is too broad. You filled your resume with something that could do everything, and when you fill it with something that can do everything, you're going to fail. In fact, even here, where you should not even have a profile thing, is you say data science. I'm not looking to hire a data scientist. I'm looking to hire a software engineer. You need to be specific. This is... and then you fill this with stuff that I don't even care about. Why do I care that you scrape structures and enabling data coverage? You're trying to brag. So I need you to delete this whole thing and restart it from scratch. The reason you are getting zero internships for roles is, quite frankly, this is a terrible resume. This is one of the worst resumes I think I've actually seen in the last week. I'm not even like joking or trying to be facetious. It's just not good. There's like nothing here. This entire thing, the only thing I can see that is relevant is API and Python, and that's it. Because remember, I cannot use the skill section. And then we go down here where I actually see SQL, which I need. So this entire thing that you wrote, the only things that I see are SQL, Python, and APIs. And that is not enough. And that's not even just keywords. How you wrote them is also incorrect, too. So I need you to read my guide because nothing here works. All right? Fix your formatting. Make it look like this. Delete the profile. Delete the skills section down here. Put your education up at the top. I don't need this. Yeah, I don't need CodePath. And I don't need any of this stuff. And if you're applying to full-time roles, oh wow, you're also applying to full-time roles like 6 months early, they're probably not going to move forward with you anyway. You're not graduated yet. Usually you need to be about 2 months to 3 months away from graduating. Some very big companies do hire that far in advance, but the vast majority don't. So yeah, you need to redo all of this resume. There's just nothing here I can actually use. You tried to brag and show me how good you are, but again, you will not impress me. You cannot impress me. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer. So what we're looking for in an AI engineer is AI, LLM, NLP, Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Cloud, NumPy, R, MATLAB, SDLC, or CI/CD, DevOps, and then one of these. So like RAG or Agentic or ML, basically like the subsection of AI you are in, along with Skibbity Learn, Pandas, that kind of stuff, and that you can explain complicated technical topics to non-technical people. So this person gave me no notes. They just submitted their resume and they said they have a 1 in 150 ratio plus. So let's review it and go. What? Okay. AI agents, that's good. SDK and LangChain. Tailoring resumes, okay, fine. RESTful APIs. Okay. This actually isn't terrible, but you made it too technical. Okay. This might actually pass. So, first off, I am a US-based recruiter. I don't recruit outside the US. I don't know how other countries recruit as much. You should not state your nationality. Don't do that. Please don't. That is not good in the US. Do not do that. Then, here, the problem with this is it's actually a little too technical. Built conversational AI agents with OpenAI, SDK, and LangChain using RAG and GCC audiences, tailoring blah, 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 blah. This is actually pretty good. The problem is there's too much here. Like, I don't want to just see AI. I think this is going like AI agents is fine, but man, I think there's slightly too much stuff here because I don't know if they would know that SDK is it or OpenAI. Like, I am currently like recruiting for AI, like agentic roles, although it's specifically for multi-systems. And it's entirely probable that they don't know that SDK stands for that type of AI, which I'm blanking on what it was. They would probably know LangChain and they would know RAG, but I don't know if they'd know GCC. So I actually need you to simplify this a little bit, like build AI agents using LangChain, RAG, and blank for that blah blah blah. Then design RESTful APIs, I don't really need. With Python is nice. TensorFlow, good. Most of their model predicted. Again, this part I don't need. And then CI/CD, this one is fine. This one is okay. So yeah, this actually would maybe pass. I'm assuming your reason your ratio is so low is you're applying to the US. And if you're not, if you do not have work authorization, you cannot work in the US. There is a misnomer about people that you can just get sponsored for a role in the US if you're good enough. And while that is possible, I want to be clear that being good enough to get somebody to sponsor you from outside the US into the US requires like being the top person in your field. Like you need to be the Sam Altman or the world-renowned like developer of AI. The amount of opportunities for that is probably like maybe 20 a year. What you need to do first, typically, which most people do, is they go to school in the US and then from there to an OPT. So I actually don't think this is a bad resume. I think this could be a little bit better, primarily by making it less complicated and a little less braggy. But it's not bad. But if you're trying to apply into the United States from outside the United States without work authorization, it doesn't matter how good your resume is. Your resume is not the point. That you would have to be known from outside the U.S. Like, people in the U.S. would have to look up AI and your name would be next to it for them to move you forward for here. So there are other visas, and I'm not a lawyer, but like, I assume this might be the case of why you're getting rejected, is you were applying from outside the U.S. to try to get a visa into the U.S., which just does not happen. It's so rare. For real, it's very, very, very rare. Like, to the point where you should not bother. It's rare enough that if you are good enough to get it, you don't need to worry about submitting to my channel. You've already got offers lined up. So that's all I can do for this resume. I hope this was at least helpful for you. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Repost it when you can. And if you ever need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter so that I can get you ahead of your job search. And I'll see you in the next video.